Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The Nigerian Senate has rejected provisions that will make the electronic transmission of election results mandatory following a tense and rowdy emergent sitting in Abuja. The decision comes amid public outrage and protest over controversial amendment to the Electoral Act. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports. We apologize, that report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. The federal government has confirmed that the joint health sector unions has suspended its 84-day nationwide industrial action following a successful conciliation meeting. In a statement signed by Ado Bako, Assistant Director, Press and Public Relations, the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, said the resolution reflects the federal government's commitment to dialogue, fairness, and protection of Nigerians' health work. Let's quickly go on a very quick break. AM News continues shortly. Stay tuned. You're welcome back from that very short break. The River State House of Assembly has suspended the impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Odu following the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The decision to halt the process was taken on during plenary at the Assembly's resumed sitting in Port Harcourt, the state capital. During the plenary presided over by the Speaker, the Majority Leader, Major Jack, read a notice detailing the allegations of gross misconduct against the governor. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has intensified engagement with key stakeholders ahead of the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections scheduled for Saturday, 21st February. The Commission says the consultations are aimed at ensuring a smooth, credible, and hitch-free electoral process across the 6 area councils of the FCT. Anita Patrick reports.
At a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, INEC Chairman Professor Josh Amopiton reassured residents of the Commission's preparedness, highlighting the deployment of sensitive and non-sensitive materials to registration area centers. He called on the political parties participating in this Saturday's FCT Area Council election to keep to the Thursday campaign deadline. Professor Amopiton urged political parties, candidates, and supporters to play by the rules, warning against vote buying, violence, and the spread of misinformation. He emphasized that security agencies have been fully mobilized to safeguard voters and electoral officials before, during, and after the polls.
What remains therefore is part of this activity we are doing to engage the stakeholders and appeal to them to play their own parts, to play their own role in ensuring that the election is peaceful, credible, and that the outcome is widely acceptable.
The FCT Commissioner of Police, Mila Dantawaye, said all security agencies have been adequately prepared to ensure the safety of lives and property before, during, and after the area council polls. He said the security agencies have identified all black spots, while adequate personnel have been mobilized to address any emergency.
We have further gone around collectively as heads of security agencies within FCT to the very far locations where you may be afraid of. So we are taking note of places we consider to be black spots, especially for election.
Some candidates for the election spoke with the media on the site, calling for the election results to be transmitted electronically for transparency and credibility.
When election comes like this, they will say call for stakeholder meetings and make their promises. At the end of the day, they will fail. But this is a new leadership. We hope there will be changes.
Other stakeholders, including Inter-Party Advisory Council, National Orientation Agency, civil society organizations, and the traditional institution, appealed to INEC to keep to the Constitution and Electoral Act in the conduct of the polls. Anieti Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
Saturday's Federal Capital Territory Council election. Anita Patrick reports that INEC boss also expressed satisfaction with the level of preparedness across key councils. Still on election matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC and security agencies in Kano State have declared full readiness for Saturday's by-elections in Kano Municipal and Ongogo constituencies. Police Commissioner Ibrahim Adamu said a joint security operation has been activated with personnel deployed to polling units, coalition centers, and key locations to ensure a peaceful, credible process. Meanwhile, movement will be restricted in both local government areas on election day. INEC's resident electoral commissioner, Aldo Zango, confirmed that all electoral materials have been deployed and commended security agencies for their support. Moving on now to Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has called for unity, discipline and cooperation among APC members ahead of the party's ward and local government congresses in the state. He made the call while addressing party stakeholders in Owerri. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, tells us more.
Stakeholders of the APC gathered at Government House Owerri to deliberate on preparation for upcoming ward and local government congress, considered critical to strengthen the party structure ahead of future elections. Addressing the gathering, Governor Hope Uzodinma stressed that cooperation and sincerity among party members remain key to sustaining electoral success. He urged members to embrace inclusive leadership and resolve disagreements through dialogue, noting that party strength lies in unity.
Every local government are not the same. Some local governments, if the consensus is possible and you have your way of doing your thing according to your peculiarity, you do your thing. If where you are not able to agree, you do your direct primaries and bring us the result. The leaders must take responsibility for their actions or inactions.
The governor commended party leaders and grassroots mobilizers for expanding the party's reach while reaffirming his administration's commitment to development and improved security across the state.
We have developed an economic plan. We have developed an industrial policy. We are rebuilding our infrastructure. I don't want a situation when I'm no longer here as the governor. The government that is here will not continue with those things. So we must continue with those things as a priority. So that is why I am particularly interested and I want to get involved on how things are done.
Chairman of the National Working Committee supervising the exercise, Godwin Anawari, described the Congress as vital for building a strong structure ahead of 2027 election and assured stakeholders of a transparent process.
We came here with one mandate, and that mandate is to conduct a credible Congress.
Meanwhile, Deputy Speaker of Imo House of Assembly, Amariwanyan, supported by lawmaker Chisomo Ojukwu, proposed that the governor coordinate efforts to harmonize party structure to promote unity ahead of future contests. Stakeholders at the meeting reaffirmed commitment to peaceful and successful congress across the state. From Government House Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
After decades of broken promises, communities on the Mambila Plateau in Taraba State say they're finally witnessing federal presence as the Federal Ministry of Works inspects ongoing transformative road project in the area. Kabir Hassan reports.
The road project, which commenced in January 2025, is being constructed using continuous reinforced concrete pavement technology and is scheduled for completion in July 2027. The Gembu-Mambayang Road holds historic significance. It was one of the conditions agreed upon in 1961 when communities voted to join Nigeria during the United Nations plebiscite. The Federal Controller of Works in Taraba State says the road is a critical transport artery expected to boost trade, healthcare, access, and regional integration.
The project was started by this administration to enhance mobility as well as socio-economic activities within the Mambila Plateau as well as neighboring countries. In fact, I'm led to understand that the road links up to the neighboring border.
The Bondua of Mangba Chiefdom says the impact is already being felt.
I always say thank you to Mr. President. I appreciate it. Actually, Mr. President has not just approved the construction of this road from this part of the country, but he has also fulfilled some of the conditions that our forefathers had in the Nigerian government before we joined Nigeria in the 1961 plebiscite.
Meanwhile, the 235-kilometer Bali-Seti-Gembu Road, funded under the NPCL tax credit scheme, is also progressing with major asphalt works, slope stabilization, and safety measures ongoing across the mountain terrain. Contractors acknowledge challenge posed by heavy rainfall and difficult topography, but insist standard will not be compromised.
This road will be completed next year. So, contractors, they work according to the money available. So in this particular project, we are lucky because the funds has been secured and a lot of them has been received already. So there is no excuses for this road not to be completed.
The visit also features the commissioning of emergency repairs on failed sections of the Jalingo-Mutumbiu-Wukari Road, a major corridor linking the northeast to the north-central and southern parts of the country. Officials say the project are designed to reduce travel time, cut vehicle maintenance costs, and improve safety for road users. On the Mambila Plateau, what was once a distant promise is now gradually becoming reality. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
You are watching the live broadcast of AM News, where AM News continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Thanks for joining us. We continue to monitor reduced visibilities across much of the northern and central parts of the country, with conditions expected to deteriorate slightly as we move through the day. The northeastern states, including Borno, Gombe, Bauchi, Jigawa, some parts of Adamawa, Kano, and Katsina, are likely to experience thick dust haze, significantly limiting horizontal visibility. Across other parts of the northwest and the central parts of the country, moderate dust haze will persist, with visibility generally ranging between 2 and 5 kilometers. Motorists and air travelers are advised to exercise caution and allow for possible delays. Further south, we expect partly cloudy skies with increasing chances for afternoon and evening thunderstorms, particularly over the coast of Lagos, Ogun, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, some parts of Rivers, and Cross River states. Residents in affected areas should take necessary precautions, limit dust exposure in the north, and stay alert for thunderstorms in the south. And that's your weather for today. Join us again.
The move is designed to realign oil and gas revenue flows with constitutional provisions, curb leakages, and straighten fiscal transparency amid declining inflows into the Federation account, despite improved production and favorable market conditions. Nigerians' intelligence community is seeking a supplementary budget to strengthen its response to growing security threats across the country. This was at the 2026 Budget Defense session before the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, where it described the 2026 allocation to the intelligence sector as grossly inadequate. National Assembly correspondent Anete Patrick reports.
Permanent Secretary, Special Services, Office of the National Security Advisor, Mohammed Sanusi says increased funding has become imperative following President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency on national security. He outlined key priorities for 2026 to include combating terrorism, banditry and kidnapping, protecting critical infrastructure, strengthening cybersecurity, tackling the proliferation of small arms and addressing transactional crimes within the West African corridor.
With the recent declaration of state of emergency by Mr. President on national security, it is our humble prayer that adequate funding shall be provided through a supplementary budget to the intelligence community to ensure timely and speedy response to issues of national security. We will all agree, Mr. Chair, that no nation can grow without adequate security.
Respondent Chairman House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Ahmad Satomi, explained that out of the 5.41 in Bauchi, Lagos and Enugu as inadequate for world-class security training. From the National Assembly, Anete Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
And on the foreign scene now, President Donald Trump has announced a $10 billion U.S. contribution to launch a new board of peace, initially focused on rebuilding Gaza after 2 years of war between Hamas and Israel. The initiative, unveiled at the renamed formal U.S. Institute of Peace Building in Washington, comes as Trump moves U.S. military assets towards Iran and threatens possible war. The Board of Peace has drawn criticisms for its unclear structure and funding details. Trump will hold veto power and remain its head even after leaving office, while countries seeking permanent membership must pay $1 billion. United States Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned technology leaders of the risk of artificial intelligence, saying its future cannot be left to the whims of few billionaires. Speaking at the Global Artificial Intelligence Summit in India, Guterres called on tech tycoons to support a $3 billion global fund to ensure open access to the fast advancing technology for all. Zaral Nasser tells us more.
Later said it was also a time when politicians boast of cutting it, as he unveiled a streamlined plan to raise at least $23 billion to help 87 million people in the world's most dangerous places, such as Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan, Haiti, and Myanmar. He said the United Nations would like to ultimately raise $33 billion to help 135 million people in 2026, but is painfully aware that its overall goal may be difficult to reach, given U.S. President Donald Trump's slashing of foreign aid.
Dan right, AI can advance sustainable development goals, accelerate breakthroughs in medicine, expand learning opportunities, strengthen food security, bolster climate action and disaster preparedness, and improve access to vital public services. But it can also deepen inequality, amplify bias, and fuel harm.
Fletcher said the highly prioritized appeal was based on excruciating life and death choices, adding that he hoped Washington will see the choices made and the reforms undertaken to improve aid efficiency and choose to renew that commitment to help. He added that the UN is simply demanding that the world spend less on defense and more on humanitarian support.
AI must be accessible to everyone. That is why, encouraged by the General Assembly of the United Nations, I'm calling for a global fund on AI to build basic capacity in developing countries. Skills, data, affordable computing power, and inclusive ecosystems. Our target is $3 billion US. That is less than 1% of the annual revenue of a single tech company.
In 2025, the UN's appeal for more than $45 billion was only funded to the $12 billion mark, the lowest in a decade. The world body said that only allow it to help 98 million people, 25 million fewer than the year before. Zahra Nasser, reporting for Global Television News.
In sports news now, the National Sports Commission, NSC, has stressed the importance of investing in grassroots sports as strategy to grow the sports economy and support youth development in Nigeria. During a courtesy visit by the steering committee of the 2026 Nigeria Electricity Supply Industry Week, the Commission's chairman, Shehu Diko, urged organizations to encourage their members to promote grassroots sports by constructing small community facilities such as baseball courts, football pitches, and tennis courts. He went on to state that the NESI Week, a week dedicated to different types of sports for those in the electricity sector, align with the sports economy. Real Madrid said it had provided FA in support of their Brazilian juniors' complaints of racist abuse during this week's Champions League clash at Benfica. Tuesday's first leg of the knockout phase playoff tie in Lisbon was stopped for 10 minutes after Vinicius told the referee Benfica Golan had called him a monkey during a confrontation. The Argentine midfielder, who covered his mouth during the argument after Vinicius had celebrated a goal dancing in front of the home fans, denies allegation. However, UEFA announced that it would investigate the allegations of discriminatory behavior as euphoria broke out with teammates rushing to back Vinicius, who has repeatedly suffered racist abuse since joining Real in 2018. Now that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us